It depends on which government you're asking for. Whether it's a Selangor financial government or the federal government. Of course, in Pakatan Rakyat, we have to deal to reform this whole method. Just a quick few responses. Number one, I mean, we in Pakatan Rakyat, especially in JP, we do not want to see this from a racial perspective. I mean, we want to fight for everyone. We want every student, be it Malay, Chinese, Indian, Kazakh, Ipan, or whoever who came from a poor family background, who have the results, who have the courage to go to universities to get the scholarship, should get it, no matter they are whatever racial background they're coming from. Just to tell you, but this is one factor that is a dividing factor among our people. Will break the national unity in the country, and will even strengthen the stereotype between races. I got a call after my news came out in the paper. I got a call. I mean, one of the many calls I got from one lady in Johor. Her daughter's called 10 A1s, did not get a scholarship. She speaks very well Malay. At the end of the conversation, I just asked her. I was surprised. I thought it's a Malay. She speaks very well Malay. I said, sorry to ask you, are you a Malay? Because I thought that it would be good to highlight even a Malay who got a top grade, did not get the scholarship. I got a hearing from her. She said, if I'm a Malay, I don't have to call you. So these are the stereotypes that will strengthen among the people and will be a dividing factor among the races. I mean, we do not want to look at it from a racial perspective. We hate to look at it from a racial perspective. But the fact is, this is one factor that will strengthen the stereotype among the races and will never help in terms of nation building, national unity, and so on and so forth. Second, on those who got Ivy League and so on, which was mentioned by Tony Kwok. In Parliament last year, Nazri mentioned in Parliament and confirmed that those who got Ivy League will definitely automatically will get their scholarships in Parliament. But it's just that they say one thing in Parliament, they say one thing in terms of policy announcement, but in terms of implementation, they cannot fight the little Napoleons. These are things happening, and we will definitely pursue it in Parliament. What happened to this policy? In fact, even though that STPM students are not given a scholarship, but I did ask in one of the debates, I asked whether STPM students who got, good results, who got offer from Ivy League universities will get. He said, definitely. Once you get the offer from Ivy League, straight away give you a scholarship. And then, of course, you have to be bonded to the government and so on. But again, this is not happening. And regarding just now, a friend from MPPJ, who mentioned top students from India, from the Indian community. I have two cases from two Indian students as well, Malaysian Indian students. One 10A1, 1A2 from Skudai Johor, did not get it. Not even local scholarship, not even matriculation. Another from my constituency, 9A1, 2A2, and one of the A2 in Bahasa Cina, Chinese language. Did not get a single offer, even from local. So these are the cases that, it's across the races. We do not want to look at it from a racial perspective, but it's across races, and therefore we have to continue to voice it up. Do not lose hope. To our friend here who are ashamed to be Malaysians, my advice is, what we feel is, don't be ashamed. Of course, we still have hope. We have Pakatan Rakyat, hope that we can strengthen our Pakatan Rakyat to bring new hope to the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone has that one?
Alright, summing up, I will just say this, I will just echo what we look, assertion that we should not reduce this to a racial issue. That would be about the very thing BN would like it to be. And I fear this reductionism, reducing everything to a racial fault line, religious fault line, we will never get out of this old politics. We are already into a transition period to a new politics. And essentially the new politics is about empowerment of people. And that is really refreshing, assuring and consoling to this new nationhood that we are building. Please, if we come back, if we go back to the default mode of reducing it to a racial issue, we have lost our soul. And I, particularly coming from Islamic Party of Malaysia past, will say in no uncertain terms. If you go back to meritocracy, if you go back to universal justice, if you go back to Islamic justice, we will have to be not only colorblind, we have got to be as well politically blind. I trust that we are all for a new nationhood, basing ourselves on mutual respect. There's got to be cross-racial, cross-cultural, and as well cross-religious. Only through that, I believe, we have a chance to build a new nationhood in this nation that we all love. Thank you very much.
Just to start one, as one of you have mentioned, to emphasize the need to get to more to our problem with our local universities. While our students are best, students, our first instinct is to go overseas, and this is what the PSD Director General also said, that we'd like to see more of the best students going to our local universities, but he says there's a problem that they don't want to, and he noted that status was one reason why Malaysian students were very eager to study abroad. So most of them, studying overseas is something that has got class. Well, I remember, we wanted to go JPA, wanted to go to MU, ended up in Harvard. He didn't want to go to Harvard first because I'm sure at that time he had never had talked about the class of University of Malaya in the early 60s. I was maybe 1 or 2 years before him. And I never thought about foreign universities. My fact, he never thought about foreign universities because we felt at that time, and there was only MU at that time. MU was the acme, among the acme of universities. So there's no thought of foreign universities. During my time, it is apart from those who are very rich, have a lot of money, the family has got a lot of money, want to go overseas. Apart from that, among the best and the brightest of my batch, we never thought of foreign universities because as far as we are concerned, the MU was good enough. It is only the second, I would call the second class, but those who couldn't get places in MU who thinks about going to foreign universities like Melbourne, like Sydney, and others. But now, it's a complete reversal. Nobody wants to even think about MU unless they have no choice. So I think there's something very wrong. I mean, that's why there's a larger problem, the educational failure that we talk about. In fact, the last question I think is the most beautiful one. The question whether there is a political will to resolve these problems, and I believe whether the federal government has a political will. Of course, I share that question. But that does not mean that even if we have great doubts about whether there's a political will in Putrajaya or the present occupants of Putrajaya to resolve these problems, that we should wait. We should not pursue these questions. All the more we must put these questions in the very front burner, the very forefront, so that if they are not resolved, all the more we should quickly ensure a change of power in Putrajaya. Where there is a political will, so